not only do we write checks, but we require our staff to work in the nonprofit sector because it's so important to be significant. We can be successful because we make a lot of money, but you really change things when you can make a difference in your community, and that's what makes significance.
We have the president and COO of Investors Bank, Domenick Cama. Domenick, thank you for joining me here on Mind Your Business.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and thank you for having us.
What a treat. What a beautiful event. Look at the turnout.
It is, and the food is good, too.
Yeah, it counts for something also, right? Let's talk about banking. I mean, you're the president of really one of the leading banks in the New York, New Jersey area. What are some of the particular advantages that businesses will realize by banking with a regional commercial bank? And I stress that as opposed to some multi-gazillion branch bank, but it's regional. What's the advantage of being focused within a region, and how does that benefit businesses?
Well, we've always said that big banks are the gift that keep on giving. And we believe wholeheartedly that doing business with a regional bank like Investors Bank has many advantages because you can get your questions answered quickly. You don't have to worry about sending your loan information to a different part of the country where they don't understand your business or they don't understand the region that you're in. And at Investors Bank, we pride ourselves on being a very flat organization. So if a lender should come to the table and say, I have a deal that doesn't really fit within the black box of a big bank, we can look at some of the mitigating factors and make a decision very quickly. So that's an advantage, I think, of doing business with a bank like Investors Bank.
Now, many companies from businesses, along Main Street, on 13th Avenue here, we're here in Borough Park, right? Or Avenue J in Flatbush, to middle market corporations come to banks seeking financing. Now, what steps do you recommend that an executive of a business, a small business, be a medium-sized businesses, that they look at to build a relationship with the bank before just showing up and say, hi, guess what? I need a $100,000 loan.
Well, I think, that's a good question. The first thing that I would recommend is to establish your deposit account with the bank. A bank is always much more amenable to looking at a loan request for a customer who deposits with them. The second piece of advice that I would give, particularly to small businesses, is that oftentimes small businesses will start up, and then when it's time to file their tax returns, they may not, completely file all of the income that they're recognizing in their business. And eventually, it comes back to hurt them, because when they want to borrow money and they say, look, I make enough money to pay the loan back, the banker is going to say, yeah, but when I look at your income taxes, they don't show it.
It's not showing.
So I encourage people who have small businesses who are fairly successful to start to declare enough income that banks will want to bank them. Finally, for larger companies, what I ask them to look at, or what I ask them to consider when they're selecting a bank is this bank reputable? Do they stand by what they tell you in their letter of intent or their commitment letter? Do they switch? Is it a bait and switch attitude? And so look at those types of factors when doing business with a bank.
You hear background noise. That's for a reason, because we're here at Glad a la carte at this special event brought to you by Investors Bank and Solon Friedman and Company. And the topic of tonight's presentation is Understanding the Bank's Perspective, and it's a special honor and treat to have on the show Domenick Cama, the president and COO of Investors Bank. We have a few more minutes to talk with you?
We do.
Amazing. What are some of the factors that a company's owner or senior corporate executive are advised to analyze before choosing a business relationship with a bank?
Well, I think, it's like anything else. It's important to have a good relationship with someone. And, banks are banks, but they're made up of people. And it's important to establish a relationship with someone that you trust and someone who will give you the service that you deserve. When I meet with a customer for the first time, I will always advise a customer to not give me all their business. Give me a small piece of their business. Let me prove to you that I am worthy of your business. And the second is I advise customers all the time to, choose someone who's going to be transparent, who's not going to be, again, a bait and switch type of a situation. It's much more important to do business with people than with a building.
You know what I love about this, the way you answered that, Domenick, is that relationships really matter. Of course, there's AI and there's computer,
Robotics
and all types of technology that factors in to certain deals. But at the end of the day, we're all humans. Got to press the flesh. You got to say hello. Got to be a mensch. No?
Exactly. I don't know what a mensch is.
Oh, come on. We're in Borough Park.
I'm a Brooklyn boy.
You know what a mensch is? Let me ask you another question. At the level of competition that continues to increase, within the banking industry, how does your bank, Investors, differentiate itself from the growing herd of all these business bankers and non-bank lenders as well?
One important answer to that: community. We consider ourselves to be part of the community. We're a successful company here in the New York metropolitan region, and we believe wholeheartedly in giving back to the community. Not only do we write checks, but we require our staff to work in the nonprofit sector because it's so important to be significant. We can be successful because we make a lot of money, but you really change things when you can make a difference in your community, and that's what makes significance. And so giving back to the community is such an important part of the business that we run, and we believe that differentiates Investors Bank from most banks here in New York.
And it's very special because I've seen investors out there in our community in a variety of different, through a variety of different ways and channels and organizations. You're just out there. You give back.
We give back also in a number of ways. It's amazing to me sometimes when I think about companies who give money away, and they need to give it away in big chunks to large organizations. We've taken a grassroots approach to the way we distribute our funds, our charitable funds. We look for the smallest organizations, the people who are making a difference in the community. On the front line. Doing things. The organization can be as small as 5 or 10 people, but if they're making a difference in their community, we want to support them.
Domenick, here's an interesting question. I hope I'm not going to catch you off guard here. Let's talk about a recent college graduate, a young man, a young woman who's thinking about a career in banking. What are some of the skills and capabilities that are important for an individual to be successful in the banking industry today?
I often speak to young people about banking, and actually I speak to all of our new employees when they join the company. And what I emphasize to them? This banking business, it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. It's pretty easy, as a matter of fact. And what I say to them is I can teach you the business. What I can't teach you is I can't teach you to have the ability and the desire to want to succeed in life. Just have the desire to work hard. Second piece of advice is be nice to others. Care for your fellow man. Be helpful. Be nice. And if you start with those basic quality or characteristic traits, believe me, you will be successful, not only in banking, but in any business.
And if you have those traits, certainly reach out to Investors Bank.
Exactly.
That's for sure. A final question, Domenick. What is one of the most important lessons that today you're the president and COO of Investors Bank. What's one of the lessons that you learned early on and that you see that has influenced your successful career to date?
Well, certainly the patented answer for that is to work hard, right?
Okay.
And I think that
You could go with that answer.
I've done that, but I get back to being nice to others, being able to communicate, write well, learn how to write well, learn how to speak, take lessons on speaking to people and speaking to others. But it's so critical to do what you say you're going to do. And, today I interviewed someone for a job at our bank, and he asked me almost the same exact question. And I said, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but if I have to differentiate myself from someone else, what I say is I do what I say I'm going to do. So when I make a commitment to do something, I follow through and I do it. And I believe that has been the one trait that has helped me in my career.
Domenick, I can't thank you enough for joining me here on Mind Your
I can't
Business.
thank you for having me. The interview's been delightful. I appreciate it, and I look forward to more interviews with you.
I love the honor of interviewing C-level executives and sharing their great advice and perspective on Mind Your Business. I'd love to get your feedback. Post it in the comments below and subscribe. You'll never miss an edition of Mind Your Business.